Caution on snag. 2 men! 2 men! 2 men! Go!
America's most powerful weapons must always be ready, hopefully never to be used.
Going 2 men! 2!
At this training facility in Minot, North Dakota, U.S. airmen mount an inert nuclear warhead atop a Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missile.
Check that side!
More than 50 years old, the aging missiles are a strategic deterrent, able to hit anywhere in the world within minutes, especially as America's adversaries build their own advanced weapons. Russia just began the next stage of its ongoing nuclear weapons exercise. Russian President Vladimir Putin has repeatedly threatened to use nuclear weapons since invading Ukraine. Meanwhile, U.S. officials believe Iran's breakout time to a bomb is 1 or 2 weeks.
Where we are now is not in a good place. What we've seen in the last weeks and months is Iran that's actually moving forward with this program.
All while North Korea tests its own array of ballistic missiles, as concern remains about another nuclear test from Pyongyang.
As we get other nations develop more and more capabilities, it increases their ability to look at us and potentially say, maybe today it's worth it.
About 3 minutes out for that.
CNN traveled to the northern edge of the continental U.S. to get an exclusive look at missile alert facilities that control the ICBMs.
The missile alert facilities aren't located at Minot Air Force Base. They're spread around the countryside, as you can see here, and that's where we're headed right now.
After multiple ID and equipment checks, an elevator ride deep into the ground, and through 2 massive vault doors, we finally enter the control capsule itself.
Down here inside the missile alert facility, we're very limited in what we can show you. That's because the heart of what the facility is all about, the controls and consoles that manage the launch sites, all of that is classified.
We are the first ever allowed to spend a night at the facility. Here, officers stay alert during 24-hour shifts, monitoring nearby missile sites, ready for launch orders they hope never come.
Every action that we do, every alarm that we get, we have to do it correctly and we have to get it right because our country's lives are at stake and we're trained to complete the mission.
There's a mental aspect to this job as well, with each airman knowing the responsibility they bear.
The potential destructive power of these weapons is so vast. The public at large needs us to be sharpened and on our game with this in all aspects of it.
The Minuteman III is scheduled to be replaced by the Sentinel missile, part of the Air Force's effort to modernize U.S. nuclear capabilities. But the new ICBM is already 81% over budget and years away from deployment.
How do you convince the American taxpayer that yes, this missile is needed, this missile is worth it?
The ability for us to continue to provide this leg of the nuclear triad, absolutely critical. And so we need to figure out a way to do that smartly and economically as possible.
But until the sun sets on the Minuteman III, they quietly sit below the North Dakota landscape, a loud deterrent to the worst of wars. Oren Lieberman, CNN in North Dakota.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today is Monday, August 12th, 2024, Missile Monday. And I have this article from CNN, and it says exclusive and an inside look at America's aging ballistic missile arsenal. So I'm not gonna, read the clip because it pretty much goes into, what the clip featured. How pretty much, the U.S. has, old missiles, but they're looking to develop more, So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. I'm not going to make this one too long, but pretty much again, the U.S. still has, Minuteman III missiles, which, they developed, decades ago, but they're looking to, replace those Minuteman III missiles with, other missiles. I forget, the name of the other ones. I did a video on those, a little while ago, but, it just goes to show you that, again, this is all biblical prophecy, that not only America, but these other nations are, developing these nuclear weapons, that are going to be used, man. Every nuclear missile that is being created is going to be used. None of them are going to be spared. They're all going to be used. So let's get straight into the scripts, man. Excuse me, Slakia. So I'm going to start with the book of Isaiah, chapter 4, Slakia. Excuse me, Slakia. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, and verse 16, and it says, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals on the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. And, the modern day smith being those, scientists that are developing these weapons, the waster to destroy being, these nuclear missiles that are being created, or these nuclear weapons in general that are being created, man. Because all of these weapons are going to be used. And we have to remember that this is not going to be a traditional war, man. This is how this war is going to be fought, with nuclear capabilities. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, and verse 5, and it says, For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise, and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So yes, man, it's not going to be a traditional war, although you will have ground troops over, in the Middle East, going to war, those different nations that'll be going to war with each other, but ultimately, this war is going to be fought by way of these nuclear missiles, man. They're going to be shot from one end of the earth to the other. Slug here. Slug you. Bear with me, but I'm going to get Jeremiah chapter 51 and 3. So this Jeremiah, this is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 1, and it says, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. Thus will I send unto Babylon fanners, that shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. Slakia, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth, Slakia, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. You know, so, you know, the Lord is raising these nations up against America, you know, because ultimately all of these nations will be against America, you know, and they're going to destroy it because it's prophesied that, you know, Russia, you know, on a smaller scale, Russia is going to take America down, you know, with the help of these other nations, you know, because Russia's not going to be the only one that are going to shoot their missiles. You know, all these nations that possess these missiles are going to shoot their, you know, their missiles over here. You know, it's primarily going to be Russia, you know, the country that's going to take America down pursuant to Ezekiel 38, you know. So I'm going to get the book of Revelation, chapter 17. In verse 16, and it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And yes, this is going into, you know, those other nations, you know, the America's allies ultimately turning on America and shooting their missiles over here as well, man. You know, because again, these nations are going to be angry. You know, the ones that aren't already angry with America, these other nations, they're going to be angry, you know, and they're going to shoot their missiles over here and burn this place as well. You know, because again, America is the most wickedest kingdom ever in history. You know, here's the reason why it's going to get the judgment that it's going to get, man. It's going to go out the same way Sodom and Gomorrah went out, by way of fire, you know, but it's going to be way worse, you know. So I'm going to end it on this. Slack, yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'll end it on this. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 63, and verse 1. And it says, "Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? I have trodden the wine press alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood should be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment, for the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come." And this is pretty much talking about, you know, when our Lord Yahushua returns, you know, how much killing he's going to do. You know, because again, World War III is going to be synonymous with the second coming of our Lord, because our Lord is going to come back, you know, in the midst of World War III, you know, because while all these things are happening, man, our Lord is going to return with the angels to destroy this place, Babylon, as well. You know, he's going to take down those armies that are going to be over there fighting, you know, pursuing that second address. Chapter 13, you know, how they're going to be scared to fight, but he's going to put that spirit on them to make them fight him, man. And then he's going to make his way to the west to, you know, finish this place off, man, because as it says, the day of vengeance is in the Lord's heart, man. You know, because he's waiting to come back to, first and foremost, you know, take down, you know, Esau, Edom, man. you know, and these other nations that are joint heirs with him. He's going to take all these nations down at once. Hence the reason why it says he's going to have many crowns. He's not literally going to have many crowns, but again, it's just a representation of, you know, him taking all of these nations down at once, man. You know, but the point being is that, you know, this place, America, is going to be destroyed by way of these ICBM missiles, you know, and by our Lord Yahweh Shai with the angels and the chariots, man. You know? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. And I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I say Shalom.